Welcome to AlphaCars and Motorcycles. Today, I'm very excited to present this 2004 BMW 2.5i. Yes, it is a 5-speed manual, and this is of the E85 BMW Z4 generation, which to the BMW enthusiast, these are actually known as one of the best driving and most engaging and fun to drive BMW chassis ever made. So if you don't believe me, just give it a Google search and you'll see a lot of people saying the same thing. You get in this car, you put it in first gear, let the clutch out, and you have a smile on your face. These are so fun. But in this video, we're gonna do a full condition overview of this particular Z4, and we're gonna learn why this is such a true survivor. It was really meticulously maintained its whole life. I mean, just look at it. It looks pretty much brand new. And it only has 70,000 miles on it, which for this M54 straight 6, it really is low mileage. These engines are known to go into the 300,000 mile range with proper maintenance. If you are interested in this Z4, please go to our website, alphacars.com, where you can view the listing, and that will itemize all of these value-added improvements. You can look at all the recent maintenance and improvements this car has had, as well as the free Carfax report and a bunch of very detailed pictures. And if you're not in New England, still give us a call, 978-263-9000. We have many shipping partners, and we can make the deal and buying process very easy and enjoyable. And in the end, you'll have a very nice Z4 delivered right to your driveway. But now with that out of the way, let's take a closer look at this BMW. First, let's do a walk around of the Z4 and just admire these looks. I mean, for 2004, this vehicle would definitely get the compliments today. In 2024, thinking the car is less than 5 years old. Such a striking, timeless design, and especially with the care this vehicle has had, it still looks like it could be, in the showroom. Of course, it does have its imperfections here and there, and we will cover that in this video. But just doing this walk around to begin with, really it's quite a striking vehicle. It is, talking a little bit about the history, it is a 3-owner vehicle. The first 2 owners kind of haven't had an even split of ownership. I believe the first 2 owners each had it for around 10 years. You can look on the Carfax report and in our listing to confirm that. And then the most recent owner has had it for a year. They actually bought this car from us a year ago. Did a lot of improvements. They really loved the car, and they're really sad to sell it. But now they do have it for sale because they did purchase a different vehicle, and they just don't have a need for it anymore. But they told us if they could have had this as an extra vehicle, they would have kept it in a heartbeat. So now let's start looking at the exterior a little bit more closely. When the previous owner did have the vehicle, they had it professionally polished and ceramic coated. So that's why the surface is so reflective, and there's little to no imperfections in the clear coat surface. It's really quite amazing. Even look at those headlights. You'll commonly see on these vehicles when they're not taken care of, the headlights will be cloudy. The kidney grills have a deep gloss black shine there. Now going down the passenger side of the car. Once again, check out the shine of that paint job. And now looking at this wheel here, factory wheels are in excellent shape. They do have a few little cosmetic bumps on them, which I will show in this video. But first, just going over the general condition as we see it. Now let's go to the taillights, which are crystal clear. Got the BMW badge there, Z4 badge. Another thing that happens on these cars, the rear third brake light can deteriorate and become brittle. This car, that was replaced in the last year, so that is all good and like new. I apologize for the beeping. There's a moving truck up the road. But as we continue on here, the rear bumper condition is really impeccable. There's really no bumps or scrapes to report on the bumper. The exhaust tips are very clean. You can see that nice stainless steel look there. Now going down the driver's side, is we let the camera adjust. It's hard for the camera to adjust because the reflective nature of the clear coat, it doesn't know what to focus on here. Now looking at the driver's side wheels, beautiful. And this vehicle, it is scheduled to have the front brakes replaced. They are just at the end of their service life. You can actually see the rotor is very clean, but the pads are getting close to the end of their service life. So the last owner, they just want to prepare the car for sale, and then they don't want the next owner to have to worry about anything really, just being able to jump in and drive. So like I said, shortly after this video is being made, the front brakes are being replaced, new pads and rotors. And the tires are like new, front and rear. The specific tire readings can be found in our online listing, but both the front and rear tires, I believe, read 90% or more. They are literally like new. They are in awesome condition. The car drives super smooth. I did just have it out on the road. It drives awesome. And now as we make our way back to the front of the vehicle, check out the reflection on the hood. The front bumper does have a little bit of pitting here and there from the highway driving and it being a low car. Overall, looks awesome. And we have the windshield here. There's really no pitting or cracks or anything in the windshield. That all looks awesome. And the wipers were actually replaced recently as well. And the windshield does have a specific glass ceramic coating on there. So literally, if you get this car on the highway in the rain, you barely need to use the wipers. It beads right off. Now though, before we get to the interior, let's go over the imperfections on the exterior, because like I said, it does have a few personality marks from being a 20-year-old car. So looking at the edge of the bumper here, the rear bumper, just right here, there's a couple little marks, but really, unless someone points them out to you, it is really hard to see. Now looking near the gas cap, there is a light scuff just right here. It might be even hard to see on camera, but there is a light scuff right here. We can see that. And there's a little, I guess you could call it ding. The paint is fine, but little sheet metal imperfection in the gas cap just there. But actually, if I open this for you, you can see it's actually perfectly clean in there. Very meticulous owner who had it last. And now looking at the passenger side, I don't believe I see any imperfections to report here, apart from there is a light scuff just right here, and there is a light scuff here. And then if we just look around the front bumper, you can see there is some pitting here and there on the lower edge, and there is a little imperfection right here on the bumper as well. Now looking down the driver's side, there are a couple things. A light little scuff here. It has been touched up though, so it's body color, so it is pretty hard to see. And then looking at right here, there is a little scuff right there, which once again, that was touched up. And I believe the last little thing is right here. You can see just how the light reflects differently. It is like the lightest little sheet metal imperfection, but the paint is 100% good. And I just wanted to point that out. And now onto the wheels. We have a little bit of the finish wearing on the center caps, but center caps can be replaced very cheaply and easily, and they will look brand new, because obviously they will be brand new. A little bit of cosmetic imperfection right here, a little bit right there. And a lot of these, let me zoom out the camera so we can actually see a bit easier here. You can see right there is a cosmetic scuff right there. Like I said, all the wheels do balance up good, and I did have it on the highway and it did ride smooth for me. We have a little bit of scuffing right here. Once again, the finish, or kind of the clear coat on the center cap there, is a little worn. Not too bad though. We have a little scuff right here on the wheel, and a couple little scuffs, or more like kind of rock chips on the edge right there. A lot of this could be touched up too and refinished quite easily with where that is. Once again, the center cap, if we wanted the wheels to really present absolutely perfect from you know, maybe standing a couple feet away, the center caps being replaced for very cheap. That would be probably on my list of options. We will see the full cloth top condition in just 1 second here. I'm just trying to move right along because we are nearing the end of our usable lighting here. Let's take a look in the trunk. This black edge of the trunk all looks great. Even in the jambs of the trunk, we have in all the edges and jambs of the taillights and such. This vehicle does have a factory BMW rubber mats. Let me lay them out. They're in excellent condition. The previous owner actually added those. And now looking in the trunk, there's really no stains or wear to be found in any of the trunk here. It all looks great. We've got the little light right there. And if we pull up our panel back here, we do have the factory toolkit and the battery, and it all looks very bone dry in there. And then we do have the sort of partial shelf. You can raise this up and down. And the last thing here in the trunk, you can see this little bump in the carpet. I apologize for the lighting in this little segment here in this little sort of dark corner, but you can see the bump in the carpet. That is the motor for the convertible top. So a very common thing. It's really not an if, but it's a when on these cars, is the convertible top motor is actually behind this fender in this sort of area behind it, and it's down below this sort of frame of the convertible top, and that's one of the top drains for the water. So anytime it rains or you wash the car, the water gets behind here and it drains out below the car. And what happens is the motor gets flooded out over time with water, it corrodes the motor, stops working, and it's a huge job, very labor intensive job to replace. And what the previous owner has done is they relocated it to the trunk, as you saw. So now it's very easy to access. They also cleaned the motor and made sure it was working properly. We will see how it works shortly here. But that is a huge selling point on this car because, like I said, whether you want to do it or you're a mechanic, it is hours and hours of grueling labor to get in there and remove the motor out of that well and relocate it right there. It doesn't alter any of the functions, any of the hydraulic lines. The BMW gave it enough reach to be there. It's literally just the act of taking it out of there. You pretty much have to crawl in that small trunk and remove a lot of the paneling in here to get to that. But anyways, that's been done on this car. So if the roof motor ever needed to be replaced, the labor is, 5 seconds of just peeling that carpet back and gaining access. So that's a huge thing. The previous owner was a BMW enthusiast. They knew all the sort of common potential things that can happen with these cars, and he addressed them while he had it. So now let's take a look in the interior. As we take our first look, you can see the seats are in awesome condition. There's no really wear to the material or rips or anything like that. They do look really nice. The previous owner did do a factory ZHP 5-speed shift knob there. And we can see the factory key here. The vehicle does have another key as a backup in case that factory one failed, but it does have another key programmed to it, so it does have 2 keys. Looking at our steering wheel, the interior of this car is really quite immaculate. There's no wear to any of the buttons or damage. You can see there the leather, the steering wheel looks awesome. And check out the pedals. It has some Turner Motorsport metal pedal covers here, and this really makes an awesome difference in these cars because the factory covers are kind of like a hard rubbery plastic, and especially when your foot gets wet, it slips very easily. So these sort of knurled metal pedals, and then we've got the smooth gas pedal there. It makes this car driving awesome. As I just said, I was just out in it for a little while here. And all the carpet is in excellent condition. There is the plastic protectant down. And actually with this car, because the previous owner really pulled out all the stops with the detailing, the carpets in this car are protected with a fabric guard. So you could actually, I don't recommend it, but you can pour water in the carpet of this car and it really won't soak in. It takes a long time to soak in, it repels it. And that's why if you look at our plastic here, it like barely sticks down. We're having an issue with getting the plastic stuck down. I'll show you more on the passenger side. That's because the carpet is really repelling the stickiness of this. So if we look, this is just like all floppy, and that's why it kind of looks wrinkly down there. But we can see all the surfaces look great. A couple light little scuffs here and there on this center console piece. If we take a look in the center glove box, all this works excellent. I just want to show these, if you're rough with them, these can get brittle over time. You can see the hinges all work great. I can do that as many times as I want. And there's actually a lot of room in this kind of two-story compartment here. Now looking at the passenger seat, it's in awesome condition. A little bit of wear right here just from like the seatbelt being there, but it's really just cosmetic. Doesn't affect the seat in any way there. And the door jambs are super clean. You see the BMW symbol there. The underside of this car, it was fluid filmed on all the steel components. The previous owner did that. And they also fluid filmed inside the door skins. So inside of all of these little water drainage holes, there was fluid film sprayed in there. And now all the interior seams and everywhere of the doors has the fluid film, which will prevent the really moisture and air from eating at it and causing rust. So really that's something you'll never have to worry about with this car, thanks to the previous owner's, due diligence and being very meticulous. So even in the door jamb there, all super clean. There's no wear, damage on the door pulls. So let me show you the driver's seat here, and then I'll get in and start it up. And once again, it looks really, really nice. Very small little imperfection right here, like a little, it's not through the material, it's more just on the surface, but it's a little cosmetic imperfection. But now, let's get in, start it right up. I put on our key, and it just starts right up, runs awesome. You can see there 70,694 miles, got the temperature gauge. The stereo works excellent. This car actually has a harness that was plugged into the factory harness that adds Bluetooth functionality. So even though this is the original head unit here, you can actually Bluetooth your phone and listen to your music while all this looking standard. It's really quite awesome. And like I said, it's a harness that connects to the factory harness using factory connections. No chopping or splicing of the wiring was done. And just another imperfection, I will say, it actually had these imperfections right here before the previous owner when we had the car and sold it to him. So just a couple little imperfections right there as I showed. But the lenses of the gauges here, they all look awesome, super clear. We can put on our automatic lights there, watch everything light up. This car also has drop-in LED bulb upgrades, so we can see there the high beam and the low beam are super bright, crisp white. It feels like you're in a modern vehicle with that nice lighting. This car does have heated seats as one of the options, and we can see they all work awesome. We've got a little storage tray here and our outlet there. And this vehicle shifts very smooth. You can see while it's running, I've got my foot on the clutch. You can see there it's running. It goes into all the gears, no problem. We can go into reverse there. Clutch is super smooth, no shuddering or anything like that. And it really just works as designed. Even the steering wheel buttons light up here, just behind. And everything is really looking awesome in this car. I guess let's look at, we've got our dome light here. It all works great, as well as the sun visors. Now, while we have a little bit of light remaining, let's do our roof. So I'm gonna hit the button and we'll see it starts to come up here. We can hear the motor there doing its thing, and it all latched properly. Now we have no lighting, so let's do it back down. Here we go. Works awesome. And now I'll actually bring it back up one more time just to show you we can do this all day. Of course, I don't recommend that. We don't want to like overheat the motor or anything, but let's bring it back up here. And then we will take a look at the top condition. And the top is really in excellent condition. It's got a couple little cloth fabric cosmetic patches right here. Because of how the top folds in, the material was getting a little bit, like, it just wasn't cosmetically pleasing. So we did just a little high quality fabric reinforcement there, just so we wanted to make sure nothing was going to go through the material or anything, and that has held up awesome. But you can see the roof, it fits awesome with the gasket here. This car has no leaks or anything like that. The top drains were recently cleaned. The rear glass, which is real glass, it is heated there. It's factory BMW, as we can see right there. And yeah, like I said, with this little patch, we did it on both sides, because even though one side had the little bit of cosmetic issue we wanted to fix and keep from getting worse, the other side we wanted to make sure it never got there, which is why we put the little patch there. And we could color that a little darker to make it blend in a bit more, but it never bothered the previous owner, because most of the time they only had the top up when storing the vehicle in their garage. They found a lot of enjoyment in just driving the vehicle with the top down, which they never, of course, with the top down, you never see that. Now going to the front of the vehicle, you can see there those nice crisp LED lights. And let's finally open up the hood. Check out this M54 straight 6. Listen to how smooth and quiet this engine is. I could put my hand on it and it's almost like you don't know it's running. These engines are so smooth, even when they're up in the RPM. You can see all the plastic covers and intake manifold there. Everything looks really, really nice. The serpentine belts were replaced in the last year, as well as the disvalve and the intake boot down there, which those are all can be common things to address when you get to the mileage this car is at, but that's all taken care of. And the hood, being aluminum, is super light on this vehicle as well. And now lastly, let me just show you the windows work awesome. So we'll do this window up here, and it is automatic. It's a one-touch situation. There we go. And now let's do our driver's window. There we go, up and down. Very awesome. So I believe I've covered pretty much the whole Z4. It's a little dark right now. I apologize for that. We are full disclosure here. I hope I showed you really everything on the car. That was my intent to. If you have any additional questions on this Z4, please give us a call at 978-263-9000 or send us an email at sales@alphacars.com. We'll be happy to talk with you about this vehicle. And something to mention, this vehicle, the previous owner, they did have a little accessory hidden tow hitch, not for towing, it's just referred to as a tow hitch. And they used it for just a mountain bike rack. So if that's something you're interested in and gaining a lot of usability in the little Z4, you can go with the top down, hit some twisty roads, and end up at your favorite bike trail with your bike. The previous owner, he does have that for sale as well, and that can be included with the car for the additional price. And that custom accessory receiver is actually made to order from a certain company for these cars, and you have to wait over 8 weeks to get them. So if you wanted that with the sale of this car, just let us know and we can arrange to have the previous owner bring that over. But I want to thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching the whole thing to this point, and hopefully you're as excited as I am about these cars, because I know how well these drive, and they are actually very reasonable to do your own work, do your own maintenance. They're very easy to work on and enjoyable to work on as well, especially one like this. It's not rusty. It wasn't driven in the winter its whole life from when it was new. But that's all I have for you today. This has been Ian reporting from our Boxborough location. please leave a like on this video and subscribe so then you don't miss out on all the latest motoring content.